Iannielli, the transgender girl, and I'm doing a video. I just want to talk about things that I'm doing, plans I have, life. I'm a little upset. Actually today, I was driving home after my son and I went to the mall at Roosevelt Field, and we had a great time. We went to the new food court at the Roosevelt Field Mall, which is really nice. They made it larger, more seating capacity, and we went to my son's place of choice, which was Wendy's. He loves Wendy's. Usually gets his chicken nuggets and french fries. And after we had our dinner, we went to FYI, or FYE, I think it's called, for your entertainment. And we picked up a couple of movies. My son picked out 101 Dalmatians. He picked out Alexander and what is it called? Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. And he got Monsters vs. Aliens. And I treated myself to Laggies with Keira Knightley and Chloe Grace Moretz and Vanessa Carlton, CD, who I love. I love her music. So we had a good time when we walked around the mall for a little bit, and then we decided it was getting late, and my wife has us on a curfew for my son, so we headed home. But unfortunately it was pretty bad out, the weather conditions, so it was snowing and the roads were pretty slick, and I was trying to change lanes. I couldn't really see out my window, and as I was veering over to change lanes, I lost control of my car, and I got so scared because I had no control, and my car is sliding, and we go off the road into the embankment where the grass is, and my car kept moving, and we just missed hitting the trees, and I was pretty shaken up. Thank God my son and I were okay, but it was pretty scary. And I learned never to drive in the middle of a snowstorm. Never again. It was very scary. And it took me about 15 minutes before I got my composure to back up and luckily get my car out of that area and back onto the road. And I drove very slowly home. I was driving slowly to begin with, but I drove with my flashes on very slowly, and just prayed to thank God that we got home safely. It was very scary, and I never want to have that happen again. And then when we arrived home, we watched the Alexander movie, which is a great movie. We saw it in the theaters. That's why my son wanted it as part of his collection. And I was, fooling around on Facebook. I created a new Facebook page called Fashionista, and I was posting to some of my other Facebook group pages, the Transgender Girls Club, and the Transgender Girls and Women of the World. So I'm pretty active on Facebook, and I'm active on YouTube, obviously, as I like to do videos at least 2 to 3 times a week to keep my subscribers, my friends, and whoever watches my videos up to date with the happenings in my life and what it's like for me as a male to female transgender woman going through transition. Um, I'm sad that my son is going back to school tomorrow. I just hope that the roads will be safe for their travel back to the school. Right now, the roads are not so good. They're icy. The rain is now mixing with the snow before, and the temperatures tomorrow are supposed to go up. And later in the evening, I believe they're supposed to go down to freezing again, which is going to cause problems with icing on the roads. So I'm a little worried for my son to be traveling in those kind of conditions tomorrow. And were very happy that he was home for the week, but it goes too fast, and now we have to say goodbye until he's home again soon, hopefully. And I just try to keep myself busy. I enjoy posting to my Facebook page. I enjoy updating my group pages. I enjoy watching videos on YouTube. I even enjoy doing Pinterest. I was posting beautiful pictures of transgender women on Pinterest, which I enjoy. Plus, when I look at these beautiful women who are transgender or transsexual, it just amazes me how gorgeous they are. And I wish I could be as gorgeous as they are. They're my role models, of course. And I hope one day to have surgery so I can be a female just like they are. It would be my dream come true. I've always wanted to have a sex change operation, and I just keep my fingers crossed that it will happen. Keep my fingers crossed that I will have the sex change operation. But I will forge forward. I'm a transgender girl, and I'm living as a full-time woman, transgender, and I'm very happy. I never have problems nowadays with passing. I've been very comfortable with my transition to date, and I'm pretty pleased with the results. My doctor who prescribed my hormones is a miracle worker, because the hormones are really working well, and she is tremendous. I love her so much, and she's helping me to achieve my dream of becoming a woman. Even though it's a transgender woman, it doesn't really matter to me. As long as I'm perceived as a woman, that's all I need. That's what makes me happy. So I will forge ahead and continue my journey of becoming a transgender woman, or hopefully a transsexual woman, post-op. Right now I'm a pre-op transgender or transsexual woman, however you want to say it. I technically am a pre-op transsexual woman, and I'm hoping to have surgery not too far off. I'm really trying to keep a positive outlook on life and my transition and how it affects me and my family and others that are in my life. For me, transitioning was something I knew I had to do eventually. I put it off for so long and actually tried to suppress it for as long as I possibly could until I no longer had the energy or I couldn't deal with that anymore. I had to transition. It was either that or die. And I wanted to live so I could experience life as a woman, transgender woman. And I figured that if I'm gonna be living as a woman, I'm going to do the best way I can. And I'm going to not be afraid. And I'm going to feel confident and do all the right things, and I'm going to do all my preparation, and I'm going to treat it like a special project, and it's really for my benefit. So I want that to be real, and I want to be very comfortable with my transition, and I want others in my life, especially my family, especially my wife and my son, to become adjusted well to it and to appreciate who I am as a person. And all I ever wanted in my life was to help others, to live for them as well as myself, and to find my own inner happiness. And for me, my inner happiness is primarily tied into my transitioning from male to female. I am so much happier now that I'm living full-time as a transgender woman. Something that only 3 years ago I thought never would ever happen for me. So in the span of 3 years, I've made tremendous progress on that front, and I want to continue to make progress, and hopefully it will lead to my sex change operation. That would be a wonderful moment for me in my life, but at this point, I'm not going to dwell on it. I just have to take things in stride and live in the moment and just take one day at a time. Rome wasn't built in a day, so my transition from male to female will take time, but gradually I'll get there. I just have to have patience and just feel that everything will fall into place. And I have to believe that. And I do, and I want it to happen, and I will do all I can in my power to make it happen. And it's gonna be a struggle, but I think that if I'm fortunate and I find the right network to get to that point, I think everything will fall into place. Certainly, I've made it this far, so if I could make it this far, then I should be able to get there. That would be a major accomplishment, and it depends on a lot of factors. So I will hold on to hope and firmly believe in my heart that I will be a female, whether it's transgender or what. I still will be feminine and female, and I will finally be happy with who I am, and I won't have to struggle and be sad and cry because being a guy for me was not the first choice I would have made. However, with that said, being a guy meant that I married, have a wife and a son. My wife and I have a son, so there has been blessings in my life as a guy, so I can't criticize being a guy for that very reason. The only issue is that I, as a person in my heart, in my mind and soul, I identify as a female and not as a male. So that's why I'm transitioning to address my transgender struggle, which I've had since the age of 3, and it's been very tough. And I thought when I married and we had our son that everything would be fine and I would finally get away from those feelings of not fitting in, not belonging, not feeling right in my body, but they persisted no matter what I tried. And I thought at some point I would have committed suicide if I didn't get the help I needed. I was hospitalized on many occasions for attempted suicide and for severe depression that led me to say things on the phone with third parties which got me into trouble, and they reacted in a way to call for emergency dispatch. So I've been in the hospital on many occasions, and it's no fun, but it's good that I was able to get the help I needed. So that's one good thing that came of it. But I need to stay focused and to stay on task with my transition and try not to wind up back in the hospital, because that literally has set me back from getting the approval from my psychiatrist and my therapist. So I have to try to stay out of the hospital and try to convince my psychiatrist and therapist that I'm doing much better and that I really wish to have the letters recommending me for surgery. That would be the dream of my life, aside from seeing my son graduate college and go and get married. But I want to feel happy and to be happy. And I love my wife, I love my son, and I just want myself to be happy. I want to finally love me as a person too. I didn't really like